Welcome into the D2 Baseball Podcast. Robert Fry here today, joined with USC Aiken head coach Keith Gorman. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me on this to talk about USC Aiken baseball. And as you know, in the past when we've spoken, I'm so grateful for all the things that Division II baseball does for just in the purest form, just promoting this division and promoting all the great players and great programs that the country has at the Division II level. So thank you for all you guys do.
And thank you, Coach. So we'll get right into it. Kind of ask, come in May, end of May, you get hired on, but kind of backtrack a little bit. What was that process like? That got you interested in USC Aiken, and then ultimately, getting hired on.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick process. So was obviously comfortable and happy at Barton and in Wilson, North Carolina, and the job opened, and I was encouraged to apply and did that. Had the video interview and then a on-campus interview, and I don't really know the amount of days, but it couldn't have been more than 14 or 15 days from the time I applied till the time I was down here in Aiken and trying to recruit and retain a roster for this coming year. So it was a really great process, and some great baseball men that are in the leadership of this athletic department with Todd Wilkinson, a former college baseball coach, former great player at UNC Chapel Hill, and then our deputy athletic director was a fantastic college player, college coach, and also an Atlanta Braves scout for a number of years. So in a great baseball place down here in Aiken, South Carolina.
And so, Coach, kind of to branch off of that, what's the impact of having a former college baseball coach, as your athletic director, in your corner?
Well, for me, it's great. I have a ton of respect for baseball men who have been in the game for a long time, the wisdom and knowledge that they get just from the years of experience. So anything that I can pick up from them to help be a better head coach and advance our program is fantastic. I mean, they take a critical look at what we're doing on the field and in practice, just like I would if I was sitting in the stands of some other program watching, and they have a vested interest. They want to be really good here. They are supporting us with resources to do that. So, it's fantastic. I've gotten the success I've gotten as a coach because I've listened to those that came before me. So having them, really in my pocket to use and to ask questions is really a huge valuable resource. So I feel very fortunate that way.
And you mentioned it earlier in the first question, but kind of, want to hear your experience on it. Once you got hired on, your official hire date on the website was May 28th. You were looking to recruit and retain a roster. Kind of, what are some challenges in that, when you're essentially, behind the eight ball a little bit in terms of recruiting?
Yeah. I think the challenges are what you would have every year, whether you're coming in or out. We're all trying to retain and re-recruit our roster, yearly with the transfer portal, or at least every other year. So, I was excited for the challenge. Obviously, it was more recruitment and more retention than maybe I wanted to in a normal year. But, in essence, we were trying to keep, the good players that were already here and the good kids that were already here, and also fill in the holes of the seniors that had left or guys that had hit the portal and left. And so that was the main focus. And to be honest with you, there's really great players out there all summer. And I think we were able to do a pretty effective job of keeping some of the returners that we wanted to keep, along with some freshmen that we wanted to bring in, and then with a really good transfer portal class, and junior college transfer class as well. So, yeah, so there's challenges now in recruiting with the transfer portal, but I come from a junior college background. That's kind of what I did for a long time. You just cannot panic. There's great players out there. You just gotta do the work. Our summers are just a little different than they used to be as recruiters. So was very excited about the challenge. And once I got my assistants in, they did a tremendous job as well.
And so kind of to branch back to last season, USC Aiken had a pretty good Peach Belt run in the tournament, but what excites you about continuing on to improve from last season, from getting into the Peach Belt and playing 3 really competitive games?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I think the Peach Belt is a fantastic conference, and there's been some change, in the Peach Belt with the head coaches and several programs. I think the Peach Belt, just like any of the Southeast region teams, conferences, is extremely competitive, but they're also all winnable. Otherwise, why are we doing this? So I'm excited in year 1 to do my best to put our team in a position to go compete for a Peach Belt championship. Whether that happens or not will depend on the level and the standards that we set for ourselves here at USC Aiken. And are we willing to compete for 9 innings, night in and night out in a tough Peach Belt conference? So I'm very excited about that, but also excited about staying in the Southeast region. Our midweek schedule is really fantastic this year. It's going to be really competitive with some great teams coming in. We're going on the road to see some great teams. So the guys are going to get an opportunity to compete midweek to help them prepare for the very tough weekend schedule that we have with the Peach Belt. Also, very excited about the Peach Belt Friday, Saturday, Sunday series setup. I am sick of double headers, so was very excited to be part of that. If I don't see another double header in my life as a coach, I'll be just fine.
Yeah, and I'm sure as a coach, trying to plan out 16 innings is a little difficult versus saying, hey, we just got to play 9 today, and then worry about tomorrow. But within that too, you mentioned earlier about your junior college coaching. They basically built a powerhouse at Cumberland County, winning the 2019 national championship. During that 2014 to 2019, no NJCAA team won more games than you did. So to get kind of your thoughts on that, what have you learned in that junior college ranks that has helped you prepare to be a successful coach in Division II baseball?
Oh man, I think the biggest thing is the development of our players. In junior college, these junior college guys work their tails off, and I'm very proud to have been part of that fraternity. You have to develop these guys. They have to get bigger, faster, and stronger. Their skills have to get better. Their baseball IQ has to go up very quickly. And I don't know that that's any different at the Division II level or any college baseball level. So, just learning in junior college how to be more efficient and maximize our time, get the most out of practice so that we can develop these guys at a high rate of speed, which is in essence what we have to do now with some of the roster turnover. We are hoping to limit the turnover. We didn't have a ton of turnover at Barton, but still the need to catch the new guys up so that they can impact your team in a positive way in the spring is very important. And I think that's junior college, there's a little bit more time there for practice than the NCAA allows. So had a lot more time to experiment with practice schedules and what worked and what put our guys in competitive and pressure-filled situations in practice. So was a great learning tool for me as a coach, and I think I'm a better practice planner and developer within practice for that experience at the junior college level.
And so, within that kind of introductory article, Todd Wilkinson mentioned your holistic approach to coaching, and you have a high commitment to develop players and the leaders, and you emphasize academic success. So kind of my question to you is, how do you plan to implement this continuing on now here at USC Aiken?
Yeah. I mean, it's extremely important, and we've already started that here. I want our guys to have a sense of when we are off the field, there are, dozens of things that are more important than baseball at that point. Number one is an education and being good citizens on our campus. That is, first and foremost, our top priority. The majority of these guys are not going to make any money in baseball at all. So they will have to find a profession that fits them, that they're passionate about. And that happens, in the classroom through all the avenues that is provided here at USC Aiken to do. I believe that winners win in almost every area of their lives. And I preach that to our guys, that it does not matter your academic ability or, whatever, areas of your brain that you're stronger in or weaker in. We need to go try to win, the classroom game. And that's what our guys, that's what we push our guys to do. We have academic monitoring within our coaching staff here with our players. That's extremely important. It also helps us create a relationship with them a little bit quicker. And then on top of that, we're going to serve our community, and we're still trying to figure out some ways to do that here as we're just getting here. But we've already done a couple of things and been able to help out, with a campus event, and also have been active in our elementary schools as well. And we'll continue to branch out to that. But I do believe to my core that if our guys are doing all those things well with passion and energy and not seeing it as a chore or as it's something that, Coach Gorman is requiring them to do, I believe that carries right over to the baseball field, because nothing is beneath us. There's no detail too small. My best teams have been great, in every area.
And Coach, to continue on, you mentioned a little bit of your priorities, but what are some kind of additional priorities for this program as you settle into your new role?
Yeah, the classroom and community thing, as I mentioned, those are high level priorities for us. But we want to make sure that our on-field competitive level is at, the highest level of Peach Belt standards, national standards. We want to be a national contender right away. So because of that, our guys have to practice with a sense of toughness and urgency daily. So that is one of the biggest things that we're trying to get right now. Like tonight, we are going to try to do better than we did yesterday, from how we show up to the park, from the reps that we're taking, the tough situations, that we're doing our best and giving great effort to execute. So we have to learn how to practice together as a unit, and how to practice at game speed with a game-like mindset with toughness. That is priority one. Now, if we can do that and do that really well this fall, I think we'll be in a great spot to be competitive early on in the spring. Had a great play yesterday, just thinking about that. Have a young man transfer from Flodar, which is a great junior college program in this region. We're putting him in different spots. Foul ball to the opposite side, crashes into the first base fence and makes a great play. And, that would have been very easy for him. Now, we don't want him hurt because he's a good player, but, that would have been very easy for him to back off and treat that, oh, this is practice, this is an inner squad. But that got me jacked up. It got the rest of the team jacked up. And I hope that is the level of play that we will have in practice. So if we can do that across the board with our entire roster, we'll be a much tougher team to beat come springtime.
And, you mentioned, guys bringing the energy and how you assess energy, but, I want to get your thoughts. How energetic do you feel when you get the opportunity to call Roberto Hernandez Stadium home?
Oh man, every day I'm looking out my window right now and I see a couple of palm trees. So I don't know what palm trees do to you, but I just feel like I'm in a different spot or on vacation or something. So this facility is unbelievable. We have unbelievable alumni here. Roberto Hernandez, obviously, had a great big league career and has been very generous to this program and so many other benefactors here. But when you walk into Roberto Hernandez Stadium, first of all, it sits down in this bowl, so you're kind of always looking over it. It's just a beautiful complex. I mean, it's a minor league complex. They did everything right here, from the clubhouse and team room to just the mud room between the dugout and the clubhouse. They're just, every little detail is taken care of here. They really did a great job. It is still in fantastic shape. We've got some plans to make some additions to the stadium, and that's not going to happen overnight, but so excited for that. And just, I talk to the guys all the time about, you need to really feel lucky, with facilities like this, because they're not all over the country. I mean, this is one of the best facilities in the entire country. So we were very lucky to have this, and very, very grateful for Roberto and all of his teammates and all the people involved with this program.
And, with this program, kind of use this time to kind of talk about, what should fans of USC Aiken, what should the community, what should fans of D2 baseball or someone who might become interested in USC Aiken, expect this spring with the Pacers?
Yeah, it's a great question. And for me, it's simple, is that they are going to see an ultra competitive, tough team out on the field that will play hard pitch to pitch. And, at Barton, we were one of the toughest teams to get out in the country offensively. And then on the pitching side of it, for the most part, we really limited walks and really tried to force contact. And we had a lot of success there doing that. And that's the same type of style of play that we're going to do here. We are going to, challenge the opposing team to beat us, and hopefully not beat ourselves. But if people walk away from the park, from the stadium, after seeing our game, they're like, man, that is a tough team. Those guys do not quit. They do whatever they have to do to get on base. They do whatever they have to do to get outs. I did my job as a coach, and I'll be able to live with whatever result that we produce. But toughness will be our number one goal, and what I want people to see us as.
And, building off of that, toughness, and character, how important it is on the recruiting trail, when you are out recruiting, getting guys of character, one, what do you typically do to recognize guys of high character? And two, how does that evolve over time?
Yeah. Great question. I mean, my assistant coaches, which do a large majority of our recruiting, when they're bringing players to me, that's one of my first questions. Is he tough? That's what I want to know. And then I want to know how they know he's tough. Obviously, they need to talk to the coaches and they need to see it, but we're looking for guys that are dirty after games. They're going to do anything possible, whether it's a hit by pitch, diving to make a great play or giving it a great effort to do that. Just guys that look that ball player part. That's what we are looking to bring in here. And I'm going to steal Brad Stevens' comment about his old Butler basketball teams that, they say, Coach, your guys are diving all over the place, and, they just great toughness, loose balls on the floor, they're getting it. And he said, well, what are you doing in practice to instill that toughness level in your guys? He says, nothing. I recruit guys that get on the floor and will do anything to get the basketball. So, I think about that all the time. Certainly we coach toughness in practice, and we try to draw it out of our guys even more so, but they've got to have that innate tough ability, and they get that character from their folks and through their experiences through athletics. So it's a great question, and it's a really tough thing to, find, but it's something that we are looking for all the time and evaluating.
And Coach, final question I have for you. You mentioned, getting character from somewhere. Kind of use this time to, talk about people that have impacted your life, whether it be a mentor or someone close to you that, got to where you are today.
Yeah. Oh man, I have had so many. I was thinking about this the other day because, in fact, I touched base with one of my former bosses who was vice president, interim president at Cumberland County, and Jackie Galbiati. She's fantastic, and she's just one of the many that I've had. But the thing that they've always allowed me to do is to be passionate, and they've trusted me, but they've also been a critical friend of mine when we all need development, and we all need to get better. And I am so grateful to them for the grace that they've shown me throughout the years, and have helped me advance as a leader and as a professional. And I'm not perfect and not all the way there, but I do credit that to all of them. And I could go back through the years: Jay Connell, Todd Wilkinson here. I could just go on and on. My assistant coaches throughout the year. I mean, God bless those guys. They got a full, dose of me all the time, and are some of my best friends, and so thankful for them. But they have all helped grow me as a professional and as a leader. And I apologize for all of the people that have impacted me that I didn't mention on this, because there's so many of them, but just a couple that came to the top of my head quickly.
Well, Coach Gorman, I sincerely appreciate you taking out the time to chat with us, and excited to see what the USC Aiken program does here in 2026.
Thank you for having me. Keep doing your thing. We appreciate it, and go Pacers.
And that is head coach Keith Gorman at USC Aiken. We'd like to give a big thank you to all of our regional tier Patreon members. We couldn't make it to the 9th inning without the support of all of you. You're the real MVPs, hitting a home run for the team every single time. Thank you.